This episode of 86 That is brought to you by Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. If you're looking for the freshest sushi and authentic Japanese flavors just up the road in Austin, Nanami's the spot for you. From classic rolls to chef specials, it's perfect for a night out, date night, or just treating yourself. They're family owned, passionate about quality, and we're proud to have them supporting the show. So next time you're craving sushi, head to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill, check out their menu at nanamisushi.com, and tell them that 86 That sent you. Once again, thank you so much to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill for sponsoring this episode.
Okay.
How's everyone's day going?
I'm doing great, John. Are you excited for the podcast?
We just go all corporate in a second.
That's what we have to do. That's what you have to do.
I can't wait to record another episode of 86 That, guys.
You know what we should do? Since it's the week before Thanksgiving, we should do like a thing where it's like, okay, how do film students prep to handle the inevitable question of, oh, you're a film student?
So what you got going on?
What are you going to do with that?
You filming anything?
What
It's like,
what are you going to...
Don't you dare throw that fork. And then it's Johnny Bernthal.
Welcome to the 86 That podcast, where 5 college filmmakers sit down with a special guest each episode, directors, writers, producers, actors, and other creatives shaping the industry to talk movies, the creative process, and the ups and downs of making their work. Follow us on Instagram at 86 That podcast for episode highlights, exclusive bonus clips, and even chances to ask questions to future guests. We appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoy. Let me sit up straight. Today, I'm honored to welcome an acclaimed Austin-based casting director. She's the co-founder of Brock Allen Casting, one of Texas' most respected casting agencies. Over the years, she has played a pivotal role in casting for projects spanning the indie and Hollywood spectrums, from Paul Thomas Anderson's Oscar-nominated feature There Will Be Blood to the highly rated Amazon Prime series The Chosen. Her credits also include notable projects such as The Vast of Night, All She Can, Breaking Bad, Fear the Walking Dead, The Leftovers, My All-American, Men, Women, and Children, Friday Nights. I can go on, guys. She's truly one of the greatest of all time. With decades of experience, she's built a casting company that works not just with star talent, but also to discover fresh, unrepresented voices. Her work bridges local authenticity with storytelling that resonates on a global scale. Whether you're a filmmaker looking to cast your next project, an actor navigating audition territory, or just fascinated about the casting process, you're going to want to hear what she has to share. Here with us today is a true master of her craft. It's my pleasure to introduce Sally Allen. Thanks for coming on.
Oh my gosh, can you follow me around and introduce? I'm so impressed. I'm like,
yeah.
Wow, you did all that? That's so good.
Well, you have a very impressive resume, and I've known you for 2 years now. I've worked with you for 2 years now. And I never have asked you this question ever. And I wanted to ask, what first drew you into casting? Like, when was the moment you knew, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do?
I think it's when so my business partner, her name is Toni Kalbrock, and I actually started off in the industry doing stand-in work for her. I had just graduated with my master's degree in theater for acting and directing, and of course, I was going to do stand-in work. That was my big job straight out of college. That's what my degree got me. So yeah, I did stand-in work for her for a really long time. And honestly, I just kept doing it, and then kind of working side jobs in between, films and stuff. And one day she just called me up and she was like, I'm in a little bit of a bind. I've overbid a couple of projects. I didn't expect to get them all. I got them all. I'm not going to be able to handle it. I need some more help. And I was like, oh, well, gee, I don't know anybody, and she was like, no, you. And I'm like, me? Yes.
Wow.
And that's how it happened.
So it just kind of, you came on as an intern pretty much, and then y'all just happened to.
No, I wasn't even her intern. I literally was her stand-in, John. You don't understand. She was casting, and then she would do the extras as well. Mm-hmm. And she needed stand-ins. And so she would call me up and be like, hey, do you want to do some stand-in work for a month? And I'd be like, yeah. Wow. Yeah, and I asked her later, why did you ask me to help you in the casting office? You didn't even know if I could do it. And she was like, well, you showed up.
There you go. That's all it takes.
And you were on time.
There you go.
And no one ever complained about you. And never got a call from set about you. And I was like, that's it? That's the reason?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I wish I could tell you that like I did something fabulous or I was so talented and she
Uh-huh.
knew it or something, but no, I just showed up on time and no one ever complained about me. So I got the opportunity. Now, once I got the opportunity though, I freaking just like, I mean, obviously I'm a partner, Brock Allen Casting now.
Mhm.
And I knew I wanted to do it after the very first movie. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Well, and that's interesting because nobody goes to school to be a casting director.
No,
And
it's much
so,
more, it's like an apprentice almost type
mhm,
situation, right? Like a casting director almost has to take deem you as worthy and
mhm.
take you under their wing.
Hmm.
And all the other casting directors are like, who did like everyone's eyes. It's a very, you know, but that Tony was just desperate. I'm telling you, she just needed help. So I just got lucky.
Well, what was there anything that you think that you learned in your education that helped you
Of course,
as a
yeah.
casting
I kind of
director?
joke around about, because I mean, obviously, Tony didn't ask me to see, my degree or ask me if I
Right.
had one. But
Mhm.
no, for sure. Listen, theater is very rigorous, long hours. I was on scholarship all the way through my undergraduate and graduate work. And I was also a graduate part-time instructor during my graduate work. And yeah, I mean, I think the work ethic
Mm.
and honestly being
Mhm.
on time. I mean, you can't be late in the theater. I mean, it's kind of funny now, but like you show up, you're on time, you work hard, you're professional, you do the job you're supposed to do, and it's a team effort. You very much have to be. And so I think it gave me also the love of collaboration. And that is the part
Mhm.
about the casting that I loved because I'm like, okay, I get to work with actors, which is cool because I used to be an actor and I really enjoy helping actors get work. But I also get to hang out with like the producers and the writers and the directors and like all the above the line people that, before the film starts shooting, we're all in rooms together, collaborating, talking, and I love that part.
I wanted to ask how casting in Austin or being based in Austin and being based in Texas has shaped in your career differently than, say, working in LA or New York might have. In what ways has that strengthened your career and agency?
That's a really good question. I mean, I'm a Texas girl, and so I think there were strong family ties that kind of kept me here and wanting to work here if I could. Like, if there's a way I can do what I love and still get to be around my family and be close with them, I'm always going to choose that.
Mm.
But honestly, I don't know. I often have thought about it because I'm a little bit older and I reflect sometimes. I've been doing this for a while of how it might have changed if I had gone and moved to LA or New York earlier or now
Mhm.
even. I mean, I could still go.
Mhm.
But I think the same thing kind of still holds me here. And I like what I do and I like who I work with and I like Texas and I like the market. And I feel like, I guess at this point, I guess I feel like it's my specialty. This
Yeah.
is where I ended up and it's always kind of worked. Now, don't get me wrong, there's times when we've gotten slow, where I've been like, okay, I may have to move. Um,
Yeah.
and I would, and I definitely, like I said, for years there I lived in New Mexico, lived in Louisiana. I mean, for years, stretches, but I never like moved. Always kept my home here, and I would work on a project. You guys know how it is. You work on a project, whether it's, a film for a couple of months, and then you come home for a couple of weeks before the next one starts.
So yeah, you mentioned New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, casting all over,
Right.
Louisiana. You've worked on a fair amount of large scale projects. There'll Be Blood, The Chosen, Vast and Night, Breaking Bad. But you've also worked on smaller indie projects like my last two shorts, Your Smackin' and Sunny Afternoon. And recently I saw you casted for a friend of mine for her short, The Fantastic Catapultic Showdown. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask if is there a specific project that scratches that itch for you? Is it bigger budget? Is it smaller budget? Is it working with a casting team versus by yourself? What is it?
Probably independent films, to be honest with you.
Mm.
Like,
Mhm.
those are my favorite. They're so hard. You're working on a low budget. They're
Yeah.
usually artsy. I'm totally into the artsy
Mhm.
films, like the ones that might end up at Sundance or might end up on the festival circuit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Um, you know, and Yeah, it's usually story and script and characters. Like when I start falling in love with them and I just get excited about the project. That's and probably film, television. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little rigorous. I appreciate the
Mhm.
work, but it's very long.
Yeah.
So it can get a little more exhausting. It can
Mhm.
get a little tiring.
Just before we go super deep into any topics, I'm speaking for myself. Like I feel very ignorant about the casting directing world, and I know that a lot of our viewers are newcomers to film. So if you could just speak a little bit about what casting is and what your relationship is with production.
Sure, sure. So we help connect actors with directors is the way I see it. A director comes into to make a film. They hire us. So we start searching for actors who we believe can start populating the world of this script, of this film, right? And of course, there's constraints that we must work within, which would be budget, location, all those things. Also, it depends on how many people have a say and who's cast. Those can oftentimes put constraints as
Mhm.
well, right? The more people, the more we go back and forth, the more people we have to see sometimes, right? Versus maybe a writer director who's getting to make all the decisions, right?
Yeah.
It lies with them. So that is my job. It's my job to bring great actors that I've sort of put my stamp on, where I'm like, I think all of these people could play this role and they would be great. Then we
Mhm.
present them to the director, and the director then gets to say, hopefully he likes or she likes most of them, and then they have options. I really look at my job as being done successfully if the director looks at me and says, I don't really know. I have several options. I'm going to need to think about it because that's what I want. I want the director to have many good options, not just like, oh, okay, well, this person's the only good one, so I guess we'll
Mhm.
go with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that way the directors can be a little more creative, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know exactly what the vision is in their mind, or if we hope in the creative, it's sort of been relayed, but all directors are artists and they know it when they see it. Do you feel that
Yeah.
way, John? Sometimes you know it when you see it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the creative side. I get to work with actors, I get to work with writers, directors, and then there's like the business end of it where I'm working with producers about money and, oh, this actor would need this and the travel. And especially like on The Chosen, considering we're dealing with
Mhm.
very large roles and things like that, it becomes a lot of paperwork. That's just a part of it too.
Uh-huh.
Negotiations, paperwork, and hoping everything works out.
Was there any particular project that kind of like taught you something new about casting? I know you talked a lot about doing the indie projects and stuff like that, and you kind of found like it can also just be like that, where like was there any particular project that like taught you something about yourself with casting, or it could even be like something more like logistical.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is going to sound a little cheesy, but every single one of them teach
Okay,
me something still to this
that's fair.
very day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
really look at each project as a standalone
Mm-hmm.
piece. And it makes me, and I think part of the reason why I love it is it makes me feel like I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And and I haven't. I've never cast these roles. I've never, worked on this script. Now I may have
That's
worked with
true.
the director before, and I definitely know how to like put people on tape and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a part of it that's always new. But
Mm-hmm.
moments we're learning a lot. Of course, there was a lot early on where
Yeah.
I felt like I learned a lot. I just told someone yesterday that I probably spent the first 2 years in the industry on and off crying most of
Yeah.
the and because I was like, wow. I mean, and here's how I explained it to them. Like I was coming out of college and everyone was pretty like, and I'm from Texas. I know but I'm from Texas. People are nice and friendly, when they ask you
Mm-hmm.
to do something, they're like, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And And all of a sudden, I start working with a lot of people who've been doing this for a long time. A lot of them are from New York and LA. They're very blunt. And I just had never been around that before. I'm coming from educational system and being thrown into what is just a whirlwind of madness,
Yeah.
right?
With
An
casting.
alternate reality.
Mhm.
And I was taking a lot of things personal. So it really took me a long time, I think, to realize not to take things personally and that it's just a job. It's a job,
Yeah.
and people are they need things. They don't have time to sometimes go, Sally, would you pretty please, if you could please put this roll out again? We know you're doing a great job. They don't have time to pump up my ego and make sure I'm
Yeah.
feeling good about myself before they tell me what they need. And that's just me being honest. And plus Tony told me there's no crying in filmmaking, kind of like there's no crying in baseball.
Yeah.
My dad used to say that all the time growing up. Oh man, I was so mad. I get so mad.
As I've got tears running down my cheeks. Okay. Okay.
Whatever you say.
So
Yeah.
what makes a project, because you're saying each one you kind of learn from and everything, what's the biggest difference, I guess, between those smaller indie projects and then like the bigger, studio, that type of project? I mean, obviously the big answer would probably be there's a lot more people involved, but like what is the process that makes that so like a different collaboration?
Really not. You would think that it would be easier to work on the bigger projects because they have a lot of money. And I think it's actually the opposite sometimes. So I've worked for here's just an example. I've worked for HBO a lot, and
Yeah.
they have so much money. They can ask for anything they want, and they ask for some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
They can move stuff, they can shuffle stuff, they can just take a hiatus, they can move locations. It's insane. They can drop characters, add characters, pay an actor anything they want to pay. I mean, it kind of makes for more chaos, honestly.
The money just makes it more complex.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you're working on a smaller film and they're like, we're paying this, they have to work as local hire. There's no there's no per diem. And so there's nothing to negotiate.
Yeah.
Up front, and we're like, we're shooting for a week and that's it. Or, we're shooting 20, 30 days. That's when and a 6-day week, oh, you're like, that is tight. Nothing's moving. Right. So I think money is the biggest difference, but I don't necessarily think that it's a walk in the park when you have more money.
Yeah.
How's the job different for you between those projects?
It's really not that much different.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Other than sometimes it can be a little more chaotic. I don't approach it any differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there may be some actors who don't want to work on lower budgeted stuff, but mainly they do. Actors want to work.
Yeah.
And if the script is good. But listen, I can have a ton of money. If a director producer calls me up and they're like, "Hey, we're trying to get an actor attached because we're trying to get funding. And the last bit of our funding is we need to attach an actor, or at least get them to say they're going to do it. And they have money to play with. Maybe they've already got it in the bank. We can pay to play. It's all good. But the script sucks. I'm screwed. Because the very first thing those agents are going to ask is to read the script. So I just maybe have to go to different tiers of actors, but because I'm a location casting director and I can do, lead and star name role casting as well, I know what tier to go to. I'm like, now that's hard sometimes because all directors think they can get like tier 1
Yeah.
to attach to their project. And when I tell them we should probably go with tier 3, they're not usually wanting to hear that.
Does your role on a film or TV show end when everyone's casted?
Yes. And then I have to do the paperwork.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of people that work for me and that's helpful. Unless we do extras. And sometimes we stay on and we do the extras casting. Then, of course, as you well know, then my job is not done until filming is finished, because extras is more of a ongoing in the middle of production thing. And there's several projects that I've done where we did both the speaking roles and the extras. And so that makes for the independent film that I worked on that went to Sundance, we did all the casting, literally every single person that you saw on screen.
What was that feature called?
It's called All She Can, and it's great. And that was an experience. It's one of the ones I love the most because I worked really hard on it, and we did a lot of real people casting. It's about female powerlifting. It was like in high school, these female high school powerlifters. And so I went and lived down in Benavides, Texas, down by Alice, like in South Texas, and like met with real powerlifting coaches and female powerlifters that were in high school. And we cast a lot of real powerlifters
Wow.
and went to tournaments, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
And we did a nationwide search for the lead actress, and we ended up casting her out of Austin,
Oh wow.
actually.
Wow.
But we looked everywhere, and we spent a lot of time. And it was cool because that was the first time I'd ever been to Sundance. It was a big deal to get into the dramatic comp. They only take so many films every year. So it was a really neat experience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you mentioned you directors wanting like tier 1 actors and you presenting tier 3 actors, and one of my questions was, how do you balance intuition with practical considerations, like your gut instinct and the director preferences versus the budget and the actor availability and whatnot? Does that get easier over time with more experience, or have you found it's always a constant negotiation per project?
I find every director wants a big name actor for their project, and they're totally usually a little unrealistic.
And have you found approaching that conversation easier over time, knowing that?
No, they're awful. Because you're going to tell someone that their baby that they've been working on for years isn't good enough for Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was that conversation like on both of John's projects? I'd love to...
I pitched McConaughey twice, and she said no twice.
It's like, well, John, it looks like I'll be playing every one of your roles. How this is gonna roll? Yeah.
I remember. I think you said, was it Meryl Streep? John was on your.
That was on my pitch deck. Meryl Streep was on my pitch deck.
That was on your pitch deck. So
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know if that ever made it into the conversation, but that's always funny.
No, I don't think I ever told Sally that. But I was like, a character like, or an actress like Meryl Streep.
Well, actors like
Yeah.
that actually tells me I can work with that. I can actually work with that.
Sally's like, why didn't you mention that? We could have totally gotten Meryl Streep on the film.
For sure.
Yeah.
There was a film that Tony and I did called The Fast of Night.
Mhm.
And it actually did not get into Sundance. We thought it was going to, but it got into Slam Dance, which actually turned out to be a lot of fun. That it got into Slam Dance instead. And it actually helped it, like, it's a little bit of a cult following, and it kind of helped it that it did not get into Sundance, Yeah, because it's too good, like
Yeah.
poor for Sundance or whatever. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we experienced a little bit of that with the director Andrew. He had some ideas and of who he wanted. We got turned down just because it was like his first film. The script was amazing. We kept going, just read the script, just read the script, just read the script, But even when it's a good script, sometimes a first-time director, actors are just a little shy on first-time directors, I'll be honest. That's the second question they ask.
Yeah.
What else has the director directed? And we had made some suggestions of probably tier 3. And he was like, no, right? And it ended up that we ended up coming back at the end and casting. We did some, we ended up with a kid out of New York that had been doing mainly some theater. And then just an actress who had not really moved into film yet, but was ready to move in, so, and it worked perfect, but it's just, I guess there's a point where the director has to accept it and like it. It's their project, and it's a little bit of our job, like whatever that looks like we're going to show you all these other people, or we're going to get turned down by the people that we said we were going to get turned down. And here's the proof. Okay, now we've been turned down. So that way they can move on and really kind of start looking at a little bit more realistic. It has to do with money, guys. It's mainly about money.
Have you ever been surprised where this person will never say yes, and then they do?
No.
Oh, well, there you go. Keeping it realistic.
Thank you.
No, because it is really about money. I mean, I've been surprised that people have said yes for the money,
Uh-huh.
but not like Matthew, but not tier A. Like I just sometimes I'm surprised people say yes at all. What surprises me more often sometimes is when a director will come to me and they'll say, "We've already got people attached," and I'll be like, "Uh-huh." Like who?
Sure.
And they'll tell me a big name, and I'm like, "Really? Okay."
Mhm.
And I've read the script at this point, and I'm like, "Okay," and they're attached. How? Well, they've read it and they said they're going to do it, and I'm good friends with their cousin. I'm like, "Oh, huh."
Mhm.
Okay. In my head, I'm going, not attached.
Uh-huh.
We're in big trouble. Huge red flag.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, 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 it's a done deal. He's been, years and years and years.
Like just kind of having these floater verbal agreements, kind of
Yeah,
just having
and
that.
here's the thing. And Tony and I always say this. Does his management team know?
Yeah.
His or her management team, are they involved?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like, no, 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 he doesn't want to get them involved. Another red flag,
Yeah.
right? Because the one person who can make an actor change their mind and say no to something that they've already given their word on is their management team.
Yeah.
They're very picky. What are they going to do? What are they not going to do? What's a good move for them next? Of course, agents are all about the money because that's how they make money. Now, a manager, oftentimes we'll try to get a manager involved because a manager is much more of like, we're looking for good roles for them. This could be, even though the money's not there, this isn't. So they're thinking about the overall picture and the arc that they're wanting actor's career to take. Whereas agents are like contract money, contract money. We know you've done 18 sequels, but I need to do 19. This type of thing. Where the manager might be the one going, I think it's time to cut off Home Alone 20 or whatever for your career.
Yeah.
You
Interesting.
know,
So interesting.
Yeah. I never knew
but
that.
if they have both an agent and a manager, you have to both get. So I would say, guys, listen, if you guys are all filmmakers here, and the second, even if it's just an awesome, not just, but a Texas actor or someone that's smaller, you immediately get their management.
It's interesting. Like we've been talking about like all these things, and it always just comes back to I feel like interrelational communication. So I'm interested to hear: are there any like when you first started to get into this? Are there any like skills that you really didn't think you would need when you got into this business, but then they just became essential, and you're like, oh wow, I didn't realize that this was so much a part of casting.
No, I really have always been good at these skills.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, probably the hardest skill I had to learn was to be honest, even though I knew it was going to upset someone. Right. So I know the director wants Matthew McConaughey, and I know he wants me to tell him he can get Matthew McConaughey,
Mm-hmm.
but I know he can't.
Yeah.
And so, because you are working with someone has hired you, you have this need to kind of want to like please the person that's hired you.
Yeah.
But I really have found, I feel like it works better when you just take the honest, no matter how
Approach.
much it might hurt. You
Just rip off
take,
the Band-Aid. Yeah.
yeah, you just be honest. And then if I say, I'd still like you to try, you can either say, I'm willing to do that or I'm not. I hate to say I'm not willing to do stuff before because it's just like either such a bad offer.
Yeah.
Because I have a reputation as well.
Right.
Yeah. Pivoting to like more of like the casting process as well, like as far as like finding an actor. I out of everybody here, I feel like I have like this a small part of me that still wants to do acting, because I have some background in it. But I guess for everyone, would like as far as what does the process look like when you're looking at when you're looking at tapes, like what are you looking for with like audition tapes?
Yeah, I can. That's easy for me. I can tell you
Yeah.
exactly what I'm looking for. And I share this with
Yeah.
actors all the time as
Yeah.
well. Um, Good acting first,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, so good acting. Second, do I believe you could be this character? Not just could be, but are. Like
Yeah.
I think it's moved to the point now with auditioning being like when people are sending in tape and we're watching them online. I think you kind of already have to be the character.
Yeah.
So the ideas that I have in my mind from speaking to the director and kind of knowing what the director's looking for, I've read the script. I mean, luckily, that's also where my background in theater comes in, script analysis and studying of, script and character and everything having to do uh, with characters and creating characters.
Mm.
I have an idea in my mind too, and so I'm going, do I believe this person could be this character? So if you're a good actor, and I believe that you could be this character, and then are you easy to watch? So as I'm watching your audition tape, am I relaxed as I'm watching it? Am I getting, am I able to get into the story and what's being communicated to me by the actor? Because there's no distracting weird stuff that they're doing, or I don't know how to explain it, but when an when an actor is not comfortable on camera for some reason, or they're having weird energy problems, or they have maybe weird moving their hands a lot, or their eyebrow, or something weird, or doing something kind of strange on camera, it can detract.
Mm-hmm.
Stop listening to what they're saying, and I start going, I wonder why they're doing that, and then I start thinking about like what I'm going to cook for dinner, and I mean, the human mind is like,
Yeah.
can you keep me engaged?
Yeah.
And if you can do those things, and I think that you have an interesting look for the role, I'm probably going to put you up.
Mhm.
I'm probably going to put you up to the director.
Yeah. And then I guess in the opposite of that, what's something that actors think matters in auditions or self-tapes but really actually doesn't?
Line memorization. I don't care if somebody messes up on a line. Like if they stumble on a line, or if they have to, like say, of course, I have a script sitting right next to me but say they have their script and it's off. They have it, but it's like off camera here. And say they're here and they're acting, and they have to, as they're acting, no, 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 right? And then they come right back in and keep acting, right? If they professionally look and grab them, who cares?
Mhm.
Who cares? It's not, you don't get points taken off for forgetting a word. Even if anyone's a writer, I apologize if you're sensitive about this, but me, I'm like, if you're in the moment and you switch a sentence, the words of a sentence around,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
we want to do another take, it's called take two. Like, okay, could you get this line right? Sure.
Yeah.
If it matters. Sometimes it doesn't matter, you know?
Mm.
But I think actors are really hard on themselves about being word perfect, and they concentrate way too much on memorization when they should really be concentrating more on making sure they know what the story is. They know why their character's in the script to begin with, and what this character's job is, and the overall picture, of this moving the action forward. Like, what is this character's job here? And making sure they're doing that.
I just, since we were on the topic of tapes, I just want to ask, like, do you know, like, what is the best tape you've seen and what made it so special? Like, if you can't, I don't know if you know that
Is there
tape,
one
or
that
if
comes
you
to
know.
mind?
Yeah, is there?
Oh, I know. So what was the name of that film? Oh God, I can't believe I can't remember. It was an independent film.
You're
Tony
smacking.
Casting. It was a long time ago, guys. Listen,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
casting here in Austin, shooting here in Austin. They brought in, they already had the lead guy cast because he was like the singer musician guy, and they were going to bring in, they wanted to bring the wife in from LA, but they let us audition in Texas as well. But the director had like a personal relationship with this actress, and he asked her to go on tape. But that's the other thing. Actors in LA, especially at certain points in their career, they get to a point where they don't audition anymore.
Yeah.
Right. It's called offer only.
Yeah.
And this actress was sort of trying to move into that category, and she knew him, and she was like, really? And they kind of had this whole back and forth thing. And he was like, I really do want to just hear you saying the lines. It would be so helpful. I had you, I think he had her in mind when he was writing it,
Yeah.
this actress. Anyway, so we auditioned a lot of ladies in Texas, and we thought they were so good. We were so excited. We showed him to him. This is when we were still doing things in person, so it's before COVID. And we had our in-person callbacks. And he
Yeah.
had two that he really liked, and then he got the tape in from LA.
Mm.
And he was like, guys, it's no contest. And we are like, let us see the tape. We want to see the tape, And he was like, sure. And he put that tape in, and I will never forget. I was just like, Oh yeah, no, you're totally right. And here's why. So the scene took place in the kitchen.
Mhm.
And it was the first time that I had ever seen an actor, male or female, commit so much to the space that she was not in, but in her mind she was in. She was opening cabinet doors and like knew exactly what she was getting as she was like cooking and salt. And she was just having this argument and this conversation, and I could see the kitchen in my mind, and it felt like she was in her home in her, and she was not, by the way. She was just up against a blank wall. This was all just imagination work.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was so blown away. I was like, holy, really good. And it was an emotional scene. And at the end, they end up like they're talking about getting divorced, and she's cooking a casserole. And I felt like
Mhm.
she was really cooking the casserole in the kitchen. And I'm telling you, there was nothing there. She was not using props.
Yeah. Thin air.
Wow.
I still don't know how she did it.
Uh,
Wow.
So anyway, I didn't argue with the director about
Yeah.
yeah.
we should. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, would you please, please, please think about it?
Mhm.
Please consider this because every once in a while they just get a little, I think all directors get a little, I don't know, maybe their minds get a little clouded by the
Mhm.
California zip code sometimes.
Yeah.
Are you mostly like when you are having those moments where there's a difference between you and the director's vision for the casting? Are you like is that mostly coming from like a creative side, or is that mostly on your side coming from like a budgetary reason? Like you're
Oh, no,
the
no, no. I
director's
don't care
okay.
about, I mean, there's producers that wished I would stand up for the budget more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I kind of see it as that's not my favorite part. My favorite part is
Hmm.
the create. So I'm always going to go for the creative part. I might mention, hey, the producers said they wanted to cast local, and the director's like, and I don't really feel like I should mention anything beyond that. I'm like, you guys fight that.
So you mentioned that sometimes y'all do extras casting. How is the process of casting extras different from the process of casting?
Especially, if I want you to touch on Fear the Walking Dead. I've heard you talk about this. It's so interesting how you cast the extras for that. I'd love to hear you talk a little bit more about that.
I'd like to hear about that as well. Yeah.
I loved doing the extras before The Walking Dead, by the way. There's so much.
That's like zombies, right?
fun.
That's
Yeah.
like what that would be, right?
Just all the
We-
filler zombies.
We got to cast all the zombies.
That sounds so
And
fun.
we before let's see, so season two, the first season they shot somewhere else, Mexico maybe, and then they shot season 2, 3, 4 maybe in Austin. And before we started shooting season 2, we held a zombie walker training camp. So if you wanted to be a zombie
I
on
heard
the
about this. I didn't
you
know,
had
yeah.
to come and do like this weekend long. They taught you how to walk. I mean, like you would have to line up and like drag walk, and then people would
Wow.
get picked off. They'd be like, nope, you're out, you're out, you're out. It was just
Oh,
hundreds
wow.
of people. Um, and then they would give them direction, and then they would be like, okay, now your arm gets blown off. And you gotta like, they kind of like, it was soft stunts that they were teaching them. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Wow.
And it was fun working with that group because although that's not necessarily one of my number one genres, they were so into it. So
Mhm.
every production meeting, every concept meeting, I'm just sitting there trying to think of awesome ways to blow and guts and blood and dangle somebody by an intestine from a tree. And they were so excited about it, though. They're like, oh, 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 what if, his leg gets caught on the jeep, it pulls off and leaves the other half of the body. It,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they just geeked out over that stuff. So it was cool. That
That's
was a lot of
awesome.
fun. And it is a lot different because you're dealing with a different group of people. They're not always actors. Sometimes they're real people that just want to be on a film set or a television show. Maybe they're fans. We dealt with a lot of fans on The Walking Dead, on the Fear the Walking Dead.
Mhm.
And I think extras casting is actually harder
Oh.
than principal casting because you never have enough money. You're the low man on the totem pole, extras and extras casting. Um, and you're dealing with the daily shifts. I mean, you could get a phone call at 5 p.m. for the shoot the next morning, and they're like, we're moving that to Friday, and you've got 200 extras coming in the
Oh
morning.
boy.
Oh no.
So you've got to hurry up and like not only cancel them for in the morning, but see if they can move to Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
I've seen those Instagram posts, the extra the Instagram posts. I always put those up on my story. Those are
oh, thank you, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a great staff. I don't want to pretend like I'm all up in that muddiness anymore.
Uh,
I was for a very long time.
Hmm.
I paid my dues. I sit around and talk on podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, I have a quick audience question I want to squeeze in that kind of relates to casting for TV. It's from Jordan Rockhill. She's an actress based in Austin. She asks, are there different things you look for when casting a TV series versus a film?
Yes, great question. So, to me, the number one difference between television and film is the pacing, right? There may be a few of like I mentioned HBO before, right? Like a few of the bigger streaming services that move more into movie-like television series now. But for the most part, especially if we're talking about like network television, procedurals of any kind, there's a pace. It clips along. And so here's what I tell actors. Like for a film, you might be able to sit down for breakfast, take a couple bites of your cereal, put on your shoe, look at your husband and say, I love you, honey. I gotta go to work. Right? On a television series, you better be running to breakfast, putting on your shoe, I love you,
Mhm.
honey. Have a good day at work as you're putting this on, and then you out the door.
Yeah.
So you better like, you can't leave anything out, but you have to do everything. You have to talk, action, and think all at the same time. And so I think it's just a matter of actors being more concise, being more efficient. There's an efficiency to television that usually has to be there.
Interesting.
Film, you have a little bit more time to breathe. If you can tell when an actor's been doing a lot of television because they'll get in the film and they'll just like run through stuff. I'm like, you can pause and think about something.
Yeah.
You can take a breath on a film.
Well, awesome. I know we're coming up on an hour, Sally, so we don't want to take any more of your time, but we just want to appreciate you for being here.
Yeah, it went by fast. It went by
Yeah.
really,
I
really
know.
fast.
It went by very
I
fast.
told you guys I could talk. I will not.
But yeah, thank you for
Thank you so
letting
much.
us take an
Yeah,
hour of your
thank you.
time to talk.
And it was so nice to meet all of you. Great questions.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was very great meeting you. Yeah. I really hope I get to work with you in the future sometime because, I mean, we're all upcoming, creators here in Texas. And
I should have mentioned that too, but I do love working with up and coming. I have a big part, and I think it's so important. So I do love working with up and coming filmmakers because you guys are the next generation. We're the next generation. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes.
Well, all thanks to Betty 2 years ago for having you as a guest speaker,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
and then me meeting you, and then worked with you, and now you're here. So it's always great seeing you.
The way it goes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
can't wait to work with you in the future as well. So
Same.
awesome. Well, have a very good night, Sally.
Yes. Yeah. Thank
we'll
you so
talk
much for
soon.
your time.
Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, and happy Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah,
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. She's so
She's
sweet.
so sweet and fun.
Yeah.
We
That
said at the
was
same
the
time.
most like
I-
insightful conversation.
I
I feel
I,
like-
I think that is my new favorite episode.
We
that
get
we've
better
done.
every
Like, that
time.
that was awesome. That was so
know.
cool. And I think most of that was all of that was so helpful. Like that was just like I was just thinking if someone was listening to this and they're new in the industry as an actor or even not, this would be so helpful.
No, and Lane made a really good point that people don't really go to school for this. So all this information that she gets is just straight from life experience. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like goes in.
You're
like,
welcome, listeners, for
Yeah.
free,
You're welcome.
free
We're
stuff.
charging $25 for this episode.
Yep. Yep. If you'd like, you can go subscribe to our
Y'all
Patreon.
better thank
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really fun though.
That was awesome.
I love
feel like
Sally.
I just absorbed so much wisdom.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited to ask her to help for Dweller now. I'm so excited because I've
Yes.
talked to her only like in one conversation when we went to that actor meetup thing for the at St.
Oh,
Ed's.
St. Edwards, yeah.
Yeah, and so it'll be so cool to finally like collaborate. So
Yeah,
it'd be so sweet.
super sweet, super nice. Her credits are insane.
No, I know.
We didn't even dive into The Chosen, but that's a.
No.
Have
Well,
y'all
there's
seen
so
it?
much
There was
I
a couple.
wanted to-
There was a couple of my
I wanted to-
residents that ended up getting on her extras because of
Oh,
what
no
her
way.
extras call. Yeah. I would have brought that up. But she probably.
I
would
just
have
applied for an
known
internship at The Chosen.
Did you actually?
Wow.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I hope that
So
works
I've never
out. That's
seen it.
awesome.
What is it, like a production intern, or what do you? What? kind of
I'm
internship?
assuming it would just be
He's the
they
chosen
were saying
intern.
something about, yeah, I'm the
Is
chosen. I've now played Jesus.
I've become.
He's Jesus'
No.
intern.
Jesus.
Yeah.
intern.
No, he said it was something to do with Cam. So
Oh,
I don't
that's
know what
sick.
that would be.
That
Yeah.
would be
Wow.
awesome.
We can wrap it up and stop recording.
stop.
But,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Thanks,
Yeah, we're
thanks for
recording.
listening, guys. This
Oh,
episode
oh,
comes
yeah,
out
yes.
December
Nathan, don't do
14th.
it. Do not
That's
do it,
great.
Nathan.
Thanks for
Have a
listening.
merry Christmas in 2
Have a
weeks.
merry-
Guys, I don't know what you're talking
Or, I
about.
mean,
I would
1
never.
week.
I've
Nathan?
never done
Nathan?
anything
Merry
like that.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry,
yeah.
Merry
Don't
Christ.
know.
Merry Chrysler.
Thank you for listening to the 86 That podcast. Make sure to stay up to date by following us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Instagram at 86 That podcast, where you can find episode highlights, exclusive bonus clips, and even chances to ask questions to future guests. We appreciate you tuning in and hope to see you in the next one.
This episode of 86 That is brought to you by Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. If you're looking for the freshest sushi and authentic Japanese flavors just up the road in Austin, Nanami is the spot for you. From classic rolls to chef specials, it's perfect for a night out, date night, or just treating yourself. They're family owned, passionate about quality, and we're proud to have them supporting the show. So next time you're craving sushi, head to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill. Check out their menu at nanamisushi.com and tell them 86 That sent you. Once again, thank you to Nanami Sushi Bar and Grill for sponsoring this episode.